Hi, welcome to Trash Souls. I'm Brian. I'm here with Mark and his brother Daniel. We're here at Madison Seminary. It's time is it 1:45?
Yep, 1:45.
1:45 in the morning. I got here around 5. Did some investigation with my daughter Tegan for like 45 minutes an hour before everybody got here. And it's quiet here. It was quiet. I think it started ramping up toward around midnight. We'll let Mark take it a little bit. And
Yeah, so this is my second time investigating this location since attempting to join the group in October. It was very quiet all night. Not much was going on with our group. I went around with my brother Daniel here, his first investigation with any paranormal group with equipment and everything else. We didn't feel anything through the whole night. He made the comment a couple times, which he'll probably talk on here, but he felt a calming feeling through the night. He's not an empath or anything like that, but he didn't feel any kind of bad spirits or anything. So we went through all the different floors, buildings, and everything was pretty smooth until about midnight. I was trying to go around with the camcorder, and I was in the room with Daniel and Ryan's niece, and we set up a REM pod and a cat ball at both doorways. And as I was trying to get the camcorder working, the camcorder picture imaging flipped upside down and it wouldn't record. And as that was happening, I was like, well, it makes sense. The spirits are going to ramp up because it's exactly midnight. And right when I said that, on cue, and not even making this up for a video or a podcast, but the cat ball started going off over here, and then the REM pod started flashing over on the other door. So as soon as I couldn't get the camera to work to actually show you guys actual footage of it happening, it was happening. So we did that. We went up to the attic where we experienced a few things and, got some feelings. And we came down here, and most of the group was already taken off. They started their day early. So we decided we'd come down and share our experiences with Daniel being his first investigation and get this going on the early podcast here live at Madison Seminary. And what about you, Daniel?
So coming into this whole investigation, me and Mark had talked, and I told him from the very beginning that I didn't want him to give me any sort of stories or ideas of things that people may have experienced here. I wanted to come in with a completely blank slated mind, a little backstory. I had been in this building one time, probably 15 years ago, during the daytime. I knew of where Sarah's room generally was. I had creeped around here as a high schooler, looking through the windows and everything. So I always had an interest in the building, but never did anything at night. Did very little investigative work online before coming. So knew just the basics, Sarah's room, and that was about it. And as we even came here tonight, I told Mark, I said, I'm not super spiritual, but I want to go in and I want to just see what I feel. And I want to see if I get, that dreadful feeling that people talk about, that really terrified, scared feeling, anything like that. And he goes, okay. And I said, so don't tell me anything. So when we got here, we got right outside of the door, and I was like, okay, cool. Show me this haunted bathroom. Show me this. Show me that. And we're walking around, and we walked around the entire complex, basically.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel anything. It was still early, only about 7:30. I figured, okay, maybe as the night goes on, more and more will happen. We sat up in quite a few of the rooms that had been known to have a little bit of activity
In
the attic, and tried to get anything that we could. Obviously, we haven't listened to any of the voice recordings yet. Hopefully, there was something talking back to us and some of the questions that we asked, but was just trying to get some sort of a knock or anything out of a spirit here, with no success. Sat in Sarah's room, laid on Sarah's bed, played with Sarah's toys, tried to get anything from Sarah. I didn't feel anything. And then just throughout the night, as it started to get colder and everything, just more of a little bit of heightened sensitivity maybe as we walked around. But one thing that I want to mention is when we were up in the attic and we were walking around and we went to the doctor's room, I didn't feel anything. And we went to those side rooms towards the front, which would be the south end of the building. Really didn't feel anything. And we went around back towards the north end, these really, really small rooms. And I kept saying, I doubt that these were ever even a room. I bet you these were just a storage closet or something like that. I said, but let's sit in it anyways and do whatever.
And your thought on that was because there was an exterior
There was
door closed.
there's a fire escape going down the back. So I said, if this was a mentally insane asylum, there probably wouldn't be mentally insane people right outside of an escape route. That was my thought process. But something kept kind of drawing me to those rooms a little bit. And so I kept having me and you sitting there. And I said, let's just sit in here again and see if anything happens. And the only thing that I noticed, this was probably the only thing that I've seen physically with my eyes tonight, is we had the meter where it was tracking the temperatures.
Right.
And I was sitting on the floor in there, and you were standing there, and you were recording, and you were saying, I see a couple orbs and stuff like that. And just asking these energies if they, were here, if they wanted to talk, if they wanted to, give us a sign that they were here. I wasn't getting a lot when you were standing there. But then as I had you walk down to the other side, I started watching the temperature, and the temperature just started to drop. And it was about 55 back up. And then when you left, almost immediately, it started just dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. And it was like mid 40s, like 46, wow. 47.
So like a 9-degree.
It was just weird. I don't know the exact temperature. I think we said it in the recordings. I didn't even know, actually. I had asked Ryan. I said, well, does it mean that they were around me if it got colder, if it got hotter? I didn't know. So I don't know what any of this means. But at this point in the night, I'm still kind of sitting here like, I haven't really experienced a whole lot. When we were in that room and the REM pod was going off and the cat ball was going off, there was no explaining it. I stepped around the cat balls. I stomped around the cat balls to try and get it to go off. I could not get the cat ball to go off unless I picked it up physically. The REM pod, I don't even know what it does. So that they were both going off. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But in the rooms that we were in that are known for activity, I didn't feel anything. Sarah's room, for instance, is always brought up. I was in there 3 times. I sat on Sarah's bed. I laid on Sarah's bed. I played with Sarah's toys. I snuggled the teddy bear on the bed. Nothing happened, not even the cat ball. But then we were just sitting in a random room with some fine china, and we talked about it being 12 o'clock, and all of a sudden everything's going off. So I don't know if through the night or if as different people were leaving, and less people were here, maybe they could draw the energy from us a little bit more.
I don't know. I mean, I think Sarah's room is overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I said this is my 8th time here, and I've really never had anything happen in Sarah's room. A couple EMF hits, but nothing major. I mean, I've had my chair pushed last time I was here, but maybe it's because everybody just is always at Sarah's room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe these other spirits in other rooms are starting to be like jealous. Like, hey, talk to me. So now they're starting to be a little more active. I don't know if that's the case of it.
Yeah, I'm here. Stop talking. Stop saying I'm not here, because I am.
No, I mean, again, I think just a lot of people abuse Sarah's room as like a paranormal hotspot. And maybe these other spirits are like, I'm here too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, talk to me. I mean, the office area, we got, some good REM pods up there and cat ball activity up there. And we never had that before. So I think a lot more spirits here maybe than there was, or maybe they're starting to wake up a little bit. But again, like you said in the beginning, really nothing. It was calm.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and I got here early. Went about 45 minutes an hour. We went up to the attic, did some investigations, just the 2 of us. Then we went to the back of the attic, those rooms. The doctor's room, we were in there for a while. Then we did Sarah's room. And that was it. I mean, it was pretty calm.
Yeah.
And
You said you had a couple feelings upstairs, right?
yeah, I'm at the doctor's room. We had some feelings up there. Both of us did when we walked in there. I'm gonna have to check the video of it when I do it. I did see a shadow figure go behind the doctor's chair, patient's chair back there through the camera. So we'll have to see if that's on there. It kind of seems like every time you catch a shadow figure on camera, I go back, it's not there. So we'll have to see how that is. But I mean, again, we had Savage Energy here. I didn't get a chance to investigate with them. They kind of went not on their own with a couple of our other members. They seem to have some experiences, and we'll have to check their video footage out. I know Aaron did a lot of video of them, and so did Craig. So, I mean, once we get through all the evidence, we'll see what we had. Mm-hmm. Again, as the night went on, it got later, it got colder. It seemed to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had some experiences up in the attic. And it's not for this podcast, maybe another podcast in the future. My niece had some experiences. Again, we come to Madison to give people who don't have experiences. And that's the main reason why we come to Madison as a group. We started this group to give people those experiences because we have the tools and we have some knowledge. And it was good to have another group here. And I'm glad with Sammy and Daniel here were our two newbies. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know she did. Mm-hmm. Hopefully she's not too freaked out.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it woke her up and she's gonna drive for it now. You never know.
Yeah. As your driver, she's never coming back.
She drove away for good.
Yeah, she might drove away for good. So I mean, hopefully that. I'm glad she got that experience. Most people don't. I said we're not going to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
But she had an experience that I've never had, and I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
It sucks that your first experience is that intense, but it's cool. On the other hand, she got to experience it. So, like you said, Daniel, like you didn't have that many experiences, but I always say just the feeling is an experience. You don't have to catch stuff on camera. You don't have to catch on EVP. You get that eerie feeling. That's an experience. Mm-hmm. You know, that's cool. I mean, your body is your best tool when you're doing paranormal. That and EVPs.
Yeah, EVPs definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. We haven't even looked at any of them yet.
Yeah, and the big thing is, like I told Daniel, we went into all these different locations. And this was the first time I bought my own recorder. Because every time I've talked to you, you always say, and you put it in my head multiple times, you're not going to hear most things, 99% of the things, to your human ear. You're just not going to have it unless you get an experience. So I was like, I'm going to bring a recorder. I'm going to segment every location we go to so I can go back and listen to it. And you were like, I go through 30 hours of investigation work every time I do this. And you pull things. Like what really got me was, and I'll never not talk about it, is when Sarah did her investigation in the attic, her duo solo. Yeah. And you got that crystal clear, it was me. I hope we get something like that again because that was fantastic. You never get something like that.
No, that was obviously the best EVP I ever got. And, I mean, it was great. Hopefully we get something like that. Again,
we got to go back out.
And we are going back.
We're going to go back out, so maybe we'll get something.
We might already have something. We don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what I'll tell you is, without going into it like you said, because we want to, but we're not going to, when Ryan talks with his niece, and hopefully you can get her in on a podcast for this, her experience, you're going to love it. I was part of it with these guys, and how everything factored together for this one moment was worth this whole trip together with everybody's experiences just in that one moment. So you have to stay tuned for this. You're going to love it.
Yeah, it was. It'd be interesting. After she calms down, goes home, and thinks about it. Like, again, she might not want to talk about it.
Right.
I don't know, but it was a cool experience. Like,
yeah.
And it shook her.
Yeah.
I think one thing though to say, and this is my first time here, I didn't ever get a feeling that anything was here to hurt anybody.
No.
I don't feel like, I know that you guys have said that there's different types of spirits, and I could agree with that, but nothing here wants to hurt anybody, in my opinion. Every spirit that's here is here for a reason, probably either stuck here or, here for their purpose. I'm not afraid to go back out. Am I a little bit freaked out because of the experience that she had? Sure. Yeah. But I almost want to try and figure it out a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, there's always those back rooms in the attic. There's always been something there.
There is definitely, and I'm glad that you didn't tell me anything, because then you guys let me know later in the night, hey, you were sitting in the room that actually freaks us out a little bit.
Yeah, so to touch on that before he goes into this, the back room in the attic, if you go to the exit sign, the room on the left. Mm-hmm. So I let Daniel go through each room. We went in and did an investigation with the camera, every room, 3 times. So the first 2 times we went up there, each room, he got nothing. We sat in the back room on the left. So last time I was here in Madison, and you guys can look back at the podcast from our last experience here, there were like 4 of us up in that room, and there was knocking and scratching on the walls that we couldn't explain. We sent people down to the 2nd floor, to the main room, everything. It was not provable. There was no way to explain it, with the exception of it was paranormal or there was a raccoon in the wall. I mean, I can't disprove that, so I don't know. But that's where I felt heavy. We go in that room the first time, and Daniel's like, let's just sit down and feel it. He goes, it's so calming and relaxing in this room. And I'm sitting there like, I wasn't going to say nothing. Second time we went in there, it's the room that he mentioned. It dropped 9 degrees when I walked away. So go ahead and jump in there, but I just wanted to give that.
Well, so when we went back in there that second or third time,
yeah,
I remember mentioning to you as well, I don't know, and I joked about it. I said, I don't know if it's the Red Bull that I've drank and the pop that I've drank, but I'm having like a sharp chest pain right over my heart. I said, it's got to be the Red Bull. But it was weird because it was when the temperature was kind of raising and dropping.
And you asked a question.
And at this point, I didn't know anything about this room. I just thought that I really kept on saying this had to have been a coat closet or a janitorial closet of some kind. I don't remember what I asked though.
Were you hurt here?
Oh, I did ask that. Yeah.
And then you said your chest started hurting, and you didn't know if it was in your mind because you asked that, or.
Well, and I think some of it too in all of this, and for anybody who we were just talking about this. Your mind is going to play the biggest factor in all of this. Your body plays a big factor. Your mind plays a big factor. If I think I see an apparition sitting outside of that window, my mind is going to obviously start to kind of think that way. When I walked into this, I feel like I was so numb that I haven't seen anything yet. But you got to be able to kind of mask that fear. Because anybody who walks into a old, dilapidated, scary building, you look at this from the outside, the facade of this building is grandiose. It's scary, especially at night. But I'm sitting in a super weird closet room on an attic level of an old insane asylum, in a sense it was, and I wasn't scared. But then all of a sudden I started having chest pain after I asked something if it was in pain. Is that it trying to manifest?
It could just be showing you their pain.
Could it be showing me the pain? Again, I have no idea. But I can tell you I had, the thing in my hand. It never lit up. It was just the temperature was dropping. It did not drop anywhere even near that in any other place in this building. One last thing, though, that I brought up to Mark, and Ryan, you might be able to explain it a little bit more. With the energies of spirits, do you think that the seminary has been known by a lot of large, very well-known paranormal investigative groups as being super active? And then you guys have said the last couple times you've come, it hasn't been super active. Is it because possibly the modernization of the building, new fire systems, all the cameras that have been added to this building, the Wi-Fi system that's been added to this building, could all of those things that draw energy or take energy to run, could those almost be allowing these spirits to not need our energy anymore because they can grab it from that and still be here without us almost.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to grab energy from anything they can.
Mhm.
The easiest source would be something that's
Yeah.
there already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always there. I mean, it's always electricity running through this building
Mm-hmm.
because of that. So yeah, and the modernization. I mean, people do it all the time, renovate houses. And that's when the activity kicks up. So they're not really renovating this to modernize it, like the floor plan, or
Mhm.
I mean, he's done a good job of trying to make it the way it was. But thinking about like a spirit from 1800s, looking in the corner, what is that? So he is modernizing it and renovating it to, you know, cameras, fire system,
Mm-hmm.
stuff they've never seen before. So that can pick it up too, because they don't like it. They always say when you renovate a house and you try to modern.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Interference.
Yeah, whatever. And you try to modernize.
We just all heard that all at the same time, just so you know.
Yeah.
That was me hitting that.
And you try to modernize a house and you change it, you know, those spirits don't like it because they like it the way it was. So it could be the same thing that, you know, they're putting different stuff in here and they can be using that as an energy.
Well, and again, they're bringing in a lot of artifacts that probably were not in this building. I'd be curious to see what that was back in the day, because now knowing a little bit more, again, maybe it's the mind, but there is a very distinct difference between the feeling of that common area and once you get down that hall. And I actually remember way back when I walked this during the day. I can't remember what his name was who walked me through here, but I remember him saying something about there's one corner of this building that nobody likes to go around. And I always thought it was on the second floor around Sarah's room or something. But now I really do think that it was actually up in that attic area.
So when I first came here the first couple of times, that back room where Sammy had that experience, my niece, that was supposedly a male nurse that lived in that room. And he used to come out and you see a shadow figure, and like sometimes you get like a needle stabbing your leg. And that was the story then. I haven't heard that story in 10 years from here. So stories seem to change. And that's why we like doing Madison. So I like try to find out what the real story is. And we ask a lot of questions to get the real story. Now that male nurse just disappeared. Like now that no one talks about it. And we did an investigation out there. I separated everybody in different rooms. And I stayed in the middle and just asked questions. Again, your mind is powerful. And it did feel like I was getting stabbed in the leg by a needle. That's probably my mind just playing tricks on me. That's what I took it as. So, yeah, the stories do change. You know, same with Sarah's room, the story changes. She's demonic, she's an old lady, you know, whatever. And too bad Sarah doesn't like to talk. After 8 times, I've not gotten nothing, no answers out of Sarah's room. I don't know if there is a Sarah. I keep saying that, and I'll keep saying that till she smacks me in the face and says I'm here. Or she might just text me, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, again, cool experiences here. We did come here late December because it's cold. That's what I wanted. We did last February. We did it, and we had a lot of experiences. 2 in between, not so much. So I thought the cold might have something to do with it. Still unsure about that. I mean, obviously a little more activity than the last 2 times. And it wasn't as cold as I thought it would be. I was hoping it'd be a little colder. Because in February, I think it was like 5 degrees. It was cold. You thought tonight was cold. It was cold.
Tonight is cold.
It's not that cold. We're good. It's not that cold. But yeah, so once we go over to evidence, we'll let you know that, yeah, if you want to do investigation in Madison, dress warm and come when it's cold.
So I guess last thing I'll say is, Daniel, overall, wrap it up in a few sentences. How was your first experience?
I think so far, because I'm very skeptical that when we go back out, there might be a little bit more activity. There's only 3 of us here now.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only 3 people that if these spirits want to gravitate towards somebody. There's only 3 people to do it with right now.
Right.
Before there was quite a few of us, and it's later in the night. It's colder now. I'm very excited to see if we do get a little bit more activity. I don't want an experience like your niece had. But if it happens, it happens. I don't think anything's here to hurt me, but if it happens, we'll deal with it then. I may never want to come back. But overall, I don't think anybody should be afraid to do this, especially if you're with a group that is knowledgeable, has some equipment. That definitely helped make me feel a little bit more comfortable. In the very beginning, I was flashing my flashlight everywhere, trying to figure my way around. Now I'm like, okay, let's go. Don't turn on your flashlight. Like, I want to see. But I have a feeling of a little bit more understanding of the building.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. I might feel completely different after we look at all the evidence. Mark was mentioning that when he was recording, there were some orbs flying around and some other stuff. So I'll be very interested to see what actually comes of all that and when I actually have to see that. But again, I definitely want to come back. I want to do another one.
Good.
Not maybe necessarily here, maybe here. At this point, I'm not freaked out enough to not come back.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have respect for spirits.
100%.
We talked about it because we talked with Sammy about it. Is these spirits want to be here, or they're trapped here. So
Will they be trapped souls?
they might be trapped souls. That's odd.
It is Ryan,
Just
just
should name a podcast after that.
you just make sure that you keep following us. The TikTok, we're bringing more shorts to you guys on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Facebook Live. So
Say TikTok again.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Right?
So thank you for listening to Trap Souls. You can follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, obviously. TikTok.
TikTok.
Say TikTok.
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 At nuclear.souls.seekers. And you can follow us on Facebook, Trap Souls. If you want to follow us at Nuclear Soul Seekers, you can.
Salute.
That's it. Peace out.